believe there's a country where children can speak 3, even 4 languages from a very young age, where an ancient potion is still used for casting spells, couples get married in mass ceremonies with hundreds of other pairs, and families actually live in the middle of a cemetery? Sounds like a movie, right? But this is the Philippines, where the unbelievable is part of everyday life. After the first part of our 10 Shocking Facts series received such an incredible response, today we're continuing the journey, diving deeper, getting stranger, and at times more haunting. Each fact today doesn't just surprise, it opens a window into the rich culture, beliefs, and ways Filipinos hold on to their unique identity. You might laugh, be amazed, or even see something that feels familiar. Think you already know everything about this country. Watch until the very end, because what ranks at number 1 might just make you realize that some things, no matter how hard to believe, are still happening every single day right here in the Philippines. Don't forget to hit subscribe, leave a comment about what surprised you the most, and share this video if you're proud of the Philippines and all its wonders. Let's begin. Number 10. Fear of number 13. There's something curious you'll quickly notice when entering high-rise buildings, hotels, or apartment complexes in the Philippines. The 13th floor simply doesn't exist. You won't find a button labeled 13 in the elevator, no room 13 in many hotels, and even license plates, plane tickets, or house numbers often avoid this number. What might seem like a Western superstition has deeply embedded itself in various cultures and in the Philippines. It carries a distinct spiritual undertone. This fear of the number 13 is called triskay decaphobia, a phobia rooted in the belief that 13 brings bad luck, chaos, imbalance, or even death. Marilu, a hotel manager in Cebu, shared how guests from rural provinces often ask to switch rooms immediately upon seeing room 1301. One even knocked on the front desk in the middle of the night, begging to move rooms after hearing 3 knocks on their door with no one in the hallway. Probably just the wind. She shrugged, but we respect our guests' feelings. Some things can't be explained but should still be acknowledged. Even hospitals often quietly avoid scheduling surgeries on the 13th, especially when it falls on a Friday. Some condo projects label the 13th floor as 12A just to put residents at ease. In a country where faith, religion, and the sacred are deeply rooted, this caution with numbers is also a way of preserving peace of mind. To outsiders, it might just be a number, but for millions of Filipinos, it's a quiet belief passed down through generations like an instinctive shield against life's uncertainties. If you were offered room 1301 in a near-empty hotel, would you stay the night? Or, like Marilu, would you believe that some things need not be explained, just respected? Number 9. No divorce law. Did you know that the Philippines is the only country in Asia and one of the few in the world where divorce is illegal? This fact alone leaves many foreigners stunned when they first learn about the country's marriage laws. Under current law, Filipino couples can only legally end a marriage through annulmento complex, expensive process that can take years. Legal separation is allowed, but it doesn't grant the right to remarry. For most Filipinos, especially those in lower to middle income households, divorce is simply out of reach. Why would a modern country, with a young population and many women in leadership roles, still ban divorce? The answer lies deep in cultural and religious traditions. About 80 to 85% of Filipinos are Catholic, and Catholic doctrine views marriage as a sacred, unbreakable union. Many lawmakers, religious groups, and communities see legalizing divorce as a threat to traditional family values. But life, as we know, isn't always ideal. Some live in painful, even abusive marriages, yet have no legal way out. As a result, more and more Filipinos, especially the youth and women, are speaking out, demanding the right to choose. Not for easy breakups, but for a chance to live with dignity and peace. A divorce bill has been introduced in Congress multiple times, yet strong opposition continues. The debate remains on one side, those preserving faith on the other, those fighting for personal freedom. What do you think, is divorce a basic right, or should marriage remain a sacred, unbreakable bond? Leave your comment, because public voices can spark real change, even in the most sensitive issues. Number 8. Mass weddings. In many parts of the world, weddings are private, lavish affairs sometimes taking months to plan, but in the Philippines, there's a unique kind of wedding where not just one, but hundreds of couples say yes, I do, in a single ceremony. This is the mass wedding, a social tradition practiced for decades across various provinces. These events are usually organized by local governments, churches, or charitable organizations, aiming to help low-income couples officially register their relationships in the eyes of the law and their community. At these weddings, brides and grooms wear simple yet elegant attire, holding bouquets while sitting close together under a large canopy, instead of one couple reciting vows. Imagine hundreds of voices saying, yes, I do, at once, a moment both sacred and heartwarming. Ricardo and Joy, a couple from Cavite, had lived together for over 12 years with 2 children, but never had the means for a proper wedding. In 2023, they joined a city-sponsored mass wedding. I never imagined he'd wear a wedding gown, Joy laughed. But that day, when we held hands and made our vows, I truly felt like a real bride, more than just an administrative event. Mass weddings carry a deep communal meaning. They reflect how Filipinos value marriage, family, and unity regardless of financial status. They also show how society here always finds ways to support one another and preserve meaningful traditions. Number 7. The twin village, where twins are the norm in most places. Giving birth to twins is considered rare, a lucky surprise of nature. But in a small village in Iloilo province, twins are so common that they've become a hallmark of the community. This village, Nagkaisangnayon, is a peaceful barangay surrounded by countryside, but it holds a mystery that intrigues both locals and scientists: an unusually high twin birth rate. In less than a decade, nearly 80 sets of twins have been recorded, an astounding figure by any standard. Residents aren't surprised. For them, neighbors having twins, family members being twins, even teachers and students being twins, it's all just part of everyday life. In some classrooms, 3 to 4 sets of twins aren't unusual. During village festivals, the twins even have their own performances as part of their local identity. Experts have visited and proposed various theories: genetics, diet, or perhaps an unexplained natural phenomenon. But for the people living here, the why doesn't matter as much as the deep bond shared by these siblings. Identical faces, different personalities, like 2 halves of one soul. Twin sisters, Rosa and Liza, now university students, shared how having a mirror beside them made them feel stronger. Someone who understands you without words. Someone to laugh and cry with, as if you were born never to be alone. In a country where family is everything, twins here aren't just a biological marvel, they're a symbol of connection, reflection, and unbreakable love. Number 6. Filipino children multilingual from a young age. In many countries, being fluent in one foreign language is already an impressive achievement. But in the Philippines, millions of children are able to speak 3, even 4 languages fluently, often without private tutors or extra classes. Why is that? The answer lies in daily life. From a young age, children are exposed to their local language like Cebuano, Ilocano, Hiligaynon, the Filipino, the national language based on Tagalog, and English, the country's second official language. These languages are constantly interwoven in school, on TV, in conversations at home and with friends, and across social media. Angela, An 8-year-old girl from Davao speaks Cebuano with her mum, learns in Filipino at school, and watches YouTube or does homework in English. When asked, "What language do you think in?" she smiled, "Depends on who I'm talking to. Each one has a different voice in my head." This multilingual environment doesn't just help children become flexible thinkers, it's also shaping a naturally globalized generation, one that can study abroad, work remotely, or connect with foreigners without feeling out of place. According to statistics, over 64% of Filipinos are fluent in English, making the Philippines one of the largest English-speaking populations in the world, just after the US, India, Pakistan, and the UK. But the difference is they don't learn just to pass exams, they learn to live, to connect. That's why so many Filipinos excel in customer service, online education, and global caregiving because they're not just good at languages, they're good at empathy and understanding. Number 5. The matriarchal tribe, where women hold power and choose their husbands in most Asian societies. Men are usually the ones making all the big decisions at home, but in certain indigenous communities in the Philippines, especially in Mindanao and the Cordillera region, it's the women who hold the reins. These are matriarchal societies, where women not only lead their families, but also inherit property, make key decisions, and have the final say in community matters. Here, it's the husband who moves into the wife's family home, and in village meetings, it's often the mothers and sisters who decide what happens. One of the most fascinating examples is the Taboli tribe in South Cotabato, where some women are known as dream weavers. They craft cloth based on patterns they see in their dreams, but their power goes far beyond the loom. In marriage, women take the lead in choosing their partners, and if things don't work out, they can return their husbands without facing social stigma. Aluya, a village elder now in her 60s, shared how she rejected 3 suitors before choosing a husband who was gentle, a good listener, and an excellent cook. "I wasn't looking for someone to serve," she laughed, "but someone to enjoy life with." Though matriarchal communities are rare, their existence highlights the incredible diversity of Filipino culture, where women aren't just respected, they're truly empowered. In a world still battling gender inequality, these tribes are a powerful reminder that women don't have to stand behind or even beside men, they can be the center. If given the chance, what would it be like if your society let women choose their husbands, own the land, and manage the family's wealth? Would that feel strange? Or perhaps like a vision of a more balanced future? Number 4. The fighting festival driving out evil spirits with a punch. In most cultures, festivals are for dancing, feasting, and praying for blessings. But in a small village in Quezon Province, there's one festival that leaves tourists absolutely stunned. Everyone starts fighting. Literally. It's called the Tayong Putik Festival, celebrated on June 24th for St. John the Baptist in Aliaga, Nueva Ecija. But in a particular barangay in Quezon, the tradition has evolved into a dramatic version where locals believe that staged fights, which still get physical, are a way to expel evil spirits, release negative energy, and cleanse the community. This isn't a chaotic brawl. Men split into 2 groups, wear loincloths, smear themselves with mud, put on masks, and engage in what's best described as controlled shoving. There are occasional minor injuries, but no one gets angry because this is ritual, not violence. Benito, 72, led one of the warrior groups for over 30 years. After the fight, "We hug and laugh," he said. "It's like all the frustration inside us just disappears." Culturally, this festival blends ancient spiritual beliefs with Catholic traditions. The collision symbolizes the battle between good and evil, human and spirit. It also serves as a communal stress relief, a kind of emotional therapy wrapped in ritual. To outsiders, it might seem bizarre, but for the people here, it's a belief and a joy. Driving away evil spirits isn't just about ghosts, it's about releasing fear, anger, and distrust. Would you dare join a festival where getting punched is a blessing? Or do you believe peace should come in silence? Share your thoughts. Maybe the healing you need is hiding in the chaos. Number 3. The people who live in cemeteries. In crowded Manila, where rent costs more than the minimum wage, some people have made their home in the last place you'd expect a cemetery. Manila North Cemetery, the city's largest burial ground, is not just a place for the dead. It's home to hundreds of families, living among tombs and mausoleums turned into makeshift shelters. Amid moss-covered gravestones and crumbling walls, children play, adults cook, do laundry, and nap just like in any other neighborhood. Lourdes, 53, moved in with her husband and 3 children after losing her job and being unable to pay rent in Tondo. I was scared at first, she admitted, but then I realized it's actually more peaceful here than in many neighborhoods. No one bothers us, and the dead, they don't harm anyone. Many families survive by working inside the cemetery, cleaning graves, repainting headstones, guarding offerings during holidays. Some children attend school thanks to charity groups. Life here is tough, but they cling to dignity, with makeshift roofs, tiny kitchens, and big smiles. From a sociological view, this is the outcome of prolonged urban inequality, development outpacing protection for the poor. But from a human lens, it's a powerful testament to Filipino resilience. Even where life and death coexist, people still choose to live with kindness, closeness, and hope. No one wants to live among the dead, but when there's no other choice, people still find a way to build a home even in the shadows. Have you ever passed a cemetery that didn't echo with silence, but with the laughter of children? Sometimes, what seems like the end might just be the beginning of a new life. Number 2. The self-governed prisons, where inmates hold the keys and teach each other to change. For most of us, a prison is a place of punishment, control, and confinement. But in the Philippines, there are prisons operating under a philosophy that stuns the world. The inmates hold the keys, manage themselves, and even help each other start over. One shining example is the provincial jail in Bohol, where there are no high walls, no aggressive guards, and nearly all daily operations are run by the prisoners themselves, from job assignments, cleaning, class schedules, to timekeeping. It functions like a self-regulated micro-society. Elma, who served 7 years for theft, now heads the inmate education program, teaching carpentry, English, and life skills. When I first got here, I just wanted to hide, he said. But people didn't treat me like a criminal. They treated me like someone trying to change. Local officials acknowledge the risks, but they believe trust is the first step to rebuilding a person. And so far, results show that recidivism rates in these self-governed jails are much lower than in traditional prisons. In Cebu, the rehabilitation through movement program, where inmates dance together and even perform publicly, has gained international fame. It's not just about discipline, it's therapy, a way to reconnect with society. In a world where many prison systems are criticized for being inhumane, the Philippines' approach reminds us people don't just need to be punished, they need to be trusted, forgiven, and given a real shot at redemption. Number 1. The belief in kulam, ancient witchcraft that still exists. In quiet rural parts of the Philippines, people still whisper about strange happenings, a healthy person suddenly falling ill, a once happy home torn apart, or newlyweds who suddenly can't stand each other. And someone will say, maybe it's kulam. Kulam, in Filipino folklore, is a form of ancient black magic similar to voodoo or witchcraft. The practitioner is called a mangkukulamnot, always evil, sometimes using their power to protect or to seek revenge. Even in today's high-tech world, belief in kulam still lingers. In some barangays, people turn to albularious folk healers who double as spiritual advisors for cleansing water, protective herbs, or even love advice. Lena, a young woman from Samar, shared a chilling story. After being betrayed by her boyfriend, she sought out an old woman in the forest, rumored to bring back a lover in 3 nights. No one knows what happened, but the man returned. A month later, Lena suffered a relentless fever and nearly died. She won't share the full story, only saying, "Some things cost more than you realize." Kulam exists outside logic. For believers, it's real. For skeptics, it's just a myth. But either way, Kulam reflects fear, hope, and the human desire to control our fate in a world full of uncertainty. Have you ever felt a chill when someone stared at you, unblinking? Maybe it was just a coincidence, or maybe it was something science can't explain. Do you believe it? The Philippines is full of truths that are both strange and deeply meaningful, sometimes bizarre, sometimes touching. Each surprising fact we explored today reveals something even greater, that Filipinos have always known how to live in their own terms. Not perfectly, not always logically, but with honesty, diversity, and a vibrant spirit. If you found yourself surprised, moved, or even a little spooked by anything you heard, leave a comment and share your thoughts, because you too are now part of this journey of discovery. And if you want to keep exploring the world's weirdest, deepest, and sometimes unbelievable realities, don't forget to hit subscribe to Bizarre World Adventures. See you in the next video.